How's that? I think most of you pretty much know my story. I moved here when you've heard it before. I moved here when I was 8 years old, fell in love with Warwick. We came from a tenement in Pawtucket. I grew up here. Rocky Point was my playground. I lived on San Gorton Avenue. I had the bay, Narragansett Bay on one end, and I had Warwick Cove on the other end. We raised our children here. My grandchildren are being raised here. I'll never leave this city and die here. Hopefully not soon. My involvement in the community started out when my daughter wanted to play girls softball. She brought me the flyer. It was 15 minutes before the deadline to sign her up. So I rushed down to Athenag, the police station. I signed up. The next thing I know, they recruited me as a coach. And some 10 years later, I became president of the league. We used to have 930 girls in at the time. It's the largest one in the country. I kept involved. I ran for the school committee. I think the first time I ran was 1997 when I bought this sport coat in and still have it. They used to make them good back then. I was the treasurer of 2 different little leagues. It was Warwick National, and we merged with Warwick North. I kept coaching. I don't know how I became mayor. I was minding my own business. People weren't happy in the city 4 years ago for a lot of different reasons. So they recruited me, I ran. I think we've been very successful over the last 4 years. We've changed the city the way it is. I have to mention Conimicut Village. This is what every neighborhood association should be. You inspire me. Ginny and I, when she was the president, we butted heads often because she's a very insistent woman. Now Leslie is. But I had to make them understand it's a big city and we couldn't just focus here. But I think you'll agree that we do get the job done eventually. I want to stick to Conimicut, what we've done around here. I know you know about the lighthouse restoration. I took that on right away. And after almost 4 years, we finally got it done. It looks great out there. We paved the parking lot at the point. We cut down all those trees. We're searching for grants right now to put new trees. My community development officer went away for 4 months. He took another job. I got him back. So he's on top of that now. I support you guys as much as you can down here. But like I said, this is what every community should have. This drive, this esprit de corps, if you will. Norwood is close. Most of the other ones aren't where you are right now. You really make a huge difference around here. I don't technically live in Conimicut. You tell me I live in Hoxie, I'm over the line. but you know, my heart belongs here. I love coming down here with my wife. It's just such a pleasant place to live. I really don't know how much else to say. Leslie, are we supposed to answer that question now? Where's she at?
Leslie,
we do that at the end?
At the end.
At the end of me or the end of all of us?
End of all of us.
What if I didn't want to stay? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. As I said, I'm going to leave. I want to sit and listen to the other candidates get have to decide who to vote for too. You all know me. I've been around for a while, so I'm just going to hand it on now.
I'm Pat Maloney. Thank you for having me tonight. I really appreciate it. My story is a little bit different than Frank's. I also was recruited as a coach for soccer, and I showed up and they said, "Do you still want to volunteer?" They said, "Sure, you're the coach." So trust me, volunteer, it's great. But I'm going to go way back to middle school. And when I was in middle school, I was in band. I was a nerd kid. I owned the game store over here in Plaza, Newport Creamery Plaza. That's where all the nerds hang out. I stayed after school one day and was waiting after band practice, and some kids rode up on bikes and they put a gun to my head. That's what happened to me. And then I suffered, and I never told anybody. I walked home that day and I started acting up in school. I knew I was a good student, but I just wasn't doing well. My parents pulled me from there and they sent me to LaSalle Academy. And I'm very thankful for that. That's where I met my wife, Susan, at age 14. So if that very terrible thing didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so since that day, I've always tried to be better and to be a good leader to other people and show them the right way to do things. So at LaSalle, at age 15, I grew up in East Providence. And I used to ride my bike from East Providence to Governor Francis to see my girlfriend, Susan. And it was wonderful. And we were together for 35 years. My wife got sick when she was 44 years old. She got dementia. My 2 children are here. They're supporting me. I love you guys. And it was very hard. It was very hard to take care of her. I stood by her through thick and thin, and I lost her 2 years ago. I'm running because she loved Warwick. I loved Warwick. We raised 3 kids here. When my kids got sick, they were 11, 13, and 15 years old, and now they're 20, 23, and 25, and they're doing great. We still struggle, like a lot of people in Warwick. We struggle. We never knew it was going to happen. We all have struggles, and I think that we know going into November that things are going to be tough. So, but I was in the United States Army for from '92 to '96. My wife went up there with me, and how much time left?
You're okay.
Okay. My wife went up there with me. We both went to the University of Anchorage, Alaska. She got a bachelor's degree from there, and I got an associate's degree. I could be all that I could be. So, and when I came back, I went to continue to go to school. And when I found out my first daughter was going to be born, I went to computer networking school. I became a computer networker. I worked in computer networking for 20 years. My last job in computer networking was at the Veterans Administration, where I worked on servers across the entire country. And my job was to make sure that they were secure. And this is after the big breach. They brought me in. I secured them. So that was what I did. So the officer mentioned that there's a lot of issues with the elderly being taken advantage of. That is a thing. It happens on your phone. It happens on your computer. And that's what I do all the time. I just help people. I have a lot of people that have come to me in the last few years for help. And if the elderly comes to me, I don't even charge them. I just fix the computer for them, or I just clean it up for them. So I am driven to do this. And if I don't get elected, I plan to keep helping, just like I've been doing right along for the last 10 years. I was on the school committee from 2008 to 2012. And I helped negotiate contracts that saved Warwick over $50 million since 2011. That is a fact. I'm focused on finances, and I want to keep people in their homes. The last thing that I'll say is, in the last 2 to 3 years, I've had 4 people at different times stay in my house because they lost their homes or they lost their apartments and they could not make ends meet. And 2 of them, I helped them. I got them on their way, and I actually have 2 really good friends staying with me right now. So the struggle is real for people out there. You have a great community. I want every community in Warwick to be the way things are here. Other communities don't talk about putting lights on poles. They don't. They talk about how am I going to get food for my kids. So I don't want to bring these down. That's 5 minutes. I don't want to bring things down. And thank you, Mayor, for everything you've done for the last 4 years.